Hi, I'm David. I'm from San Jose. I'm an econ major and I'm a third-year transfer.
Hi, I'm Jet. I'm from San Diego. I'm a third-year transfer from UC Santa Barbara.
Hi, my name is Chandria. I am a junior transfer coming from Moore Park College. I'm currently majoring in performance studies and possibly going to double major in music. Oh, and I'm originally from Alabama, but I lived in Southern California for about 4 years before coming here to Berkeley.
So my name is Sierra. I'm a major in linguistics. I'm a junior transfer, and I'm transferring from a school in Montana, actually. So kind of a different situation because it's a four-year institution and not a community college.
Hi, my name is Chris Devine. I'm a senior here at UC Berkeley. I'm studying business administration. I'm originally from Los Gatos, California, and I transferred last year from West Valley College.
Will you tell us your Berkeley story? Why did you transfer to Cal?
So we both transferred from UCSB, and I actually really loved it there. I didn't transfer out because I didn't like it or anything like that. I just thought that Cal had better resources for the things I want to do in the future. So I want to go to tech, and obviously Cal, it's in the Silicon Valley, and it's pretty much the #1 school for things like that.
You know, same sort of answer. I love Santa Barbara, but I was looking for more of a challenge, looking for something different. Since I'm from San Diego, you know, the beach is right there. And so Santa Barbara, you know, that's good. You got the beach, so I wanted to see what the bay was like.
Okay, so originally my second semester before graduating from my junior college, I wasn't even going to go to school or apply. And then I had a dance teacher come in from Santa Barbara, from UC Santa Barbara, and talk to us, and for some reason I got expired and I was like, yay, I'm gonna apply. And I was only gonna apply for UCSB, and then when I saw Berkeley, I was like, oh, why not? Even though I probably won't get into this school, I still added it on there, and luckily enough, I'm here because I made it. And it was actually quite shocking because, again, I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't even get into UCSB, which was like crazy, but I got into Berkeley, so it's better.
I actually got in as a freshman, which is funny because that's something that saves me in the eyes of people. If I say, oh, I'm a transfer, and they go, oh, and I go, oh, but I got in as a freshman. And I've stopped saying that because screw that. I got here on my own merit either way. But I always wanted to go to the school. I just wanted to save money for the first 2 years, and now I'm here.
I think for me, something that I looked for in a school was community. So I wanted to make sure that people there were helpful, and they were, I don't know, I think a lot of people that I met in community college were like that way and were really willing to help you, were really nice, genuine people, and so that's what I look for in transferring. And so I think I found that here at Berkeley. And I think in addition to that, I looked for obviously the academics. So here at Berkeley, of course, that is something that's really big. The business school in particular, something that I really looked at. Besides the academics, just the atmosphere itself in terms of different people that I could reach out to, like the alumni network, as well as different companies around here in the area.
What was the hardest part about transferring?
For both of us, since we came from UCs, or we came from the same UC, there's just not that many resources for UC to UC transfers. I think I read somewhere that 95% of the transfers that come are from community college, and obviously they're gonna focus their resources on helping those students rather than the other 5%. Yeah, I don't know about you, but
I wouldn't say it's resources, because I think transfers get the same resources.
Right.
I think it was more like a social, a little bit of a stigma going on. Especially during orientation, you know, not to call anyone out, but it was kind of weird meeting other community college kids because it seemed like they came with people who also came from their community college, and I got really lucky to find David, who's also from Santa Barbara. Yeah. But just in general, you know, you talk to them and they'd be like, "Oh, where are you from? What school did you come from?" You'd say UC Santa Barbara. Yeah. And like, well, why are you here?
Yeah.
So why are you here, man? That was a little awkward. That was probably a pretty interesting, you know, part of the transition.
By lack of resources, I mean it was hard calling Berkeley and being do I have to do this class, blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
Because for community college, they have assist.org and stuff. But they didn't really have any of that for UC, so it was kind of difficult.
I think I got pretty lucky when it comes to credits, but something to keep in mind, if you're from a different four-year university, is they don't have the equivalencies like community college students do. Yeah. So it's difficult sometimes to find out whether or not your classes transfer, and you don't find out till halfway through your first semester.
I got screwed. I basically have to retake a class here that I already took at UCSB.
Oh my gosh.
There's one lesson in that course that they didn't teach at SB, so they're
wow.
Take it again.
I don't think I've had a hard time adjusting to the school per se, but definitely the area has been the hardest part for me, because when you come to Berkeley, there isn't much that will resonate with you, especially if you're not from the Bay Area. Like, there aren't going to be any restaurants, there aren't going to be any chains. Everything is going to be new. Everything is going to be all about the school, which would be like super hard for you to like go home and disconnect from. And also part of that has to do with the fact that I am living on campus. So it's like, I think finding my balance in having disconnect from school is the hardest thing that I've had to do coming to Berkeley.
I think the hardest part has been loneliness, which is weird because I love spending time alone. I spend so much time alone and I enjoy it. But unlike a lot of people, I didn't make friends in my GBO group, and I'm making friends in my major, but most of them are just swamped with school. So I've kind of had to be my own friend a lot, and that's weird. And a lot of people made friends as freshmen, so that's another transfer thing I think that's very common, is being your own friend. Also, a lot of people are in relationships here. It's not even just that I'm a transfer, it's Berkeley. Like, everyone's dating people. I don't know what it is about Berkeley. It's not even it's just Berkeley. So that's kind of like a slap in the face every time. But it's like, you know, it's something, it's good to get used to that, and good to get used to enjoying but not needing people around you.
Everything just took a lot of time, and I think there's a sense of competition, certainly with Berkeley, and so that's something I had to adjust to as well. So I think my fall semester was fairly difficult, but afterwards I kind of knew what to expect, and like I mentioned, I kind of had like a community here that I found with fellow transfers and some of the transfers that I met in business school, which really helped.
So, have you found a community on campus?
No, but that's okay. I have found my places. The Linguistics Study Lounge in the basement of Dwinell is a really cute place, and I found people that I enjoy being around. I found a lot of pro-social connections. I'm actually going to facilitate a decal next semester. I have a good perspective for people to hear because I haven't found a place here and I haven't found a group of friends, and I'm not comfortable, but I'm doing really well and I'm thriving, and I found my little places here and there, and you really have to put yourself out there, and I'm in the Hall Association as well as Chandria. Yeah, going for opportunities, pushing to make friends instead of being like, oh, they probably don't want to be friends, you know.
I would say definitely. I think, yeah, we got really lucky. I met some people in my GBO group who were awesome. David and Henry, those guys are really cool. And then also, I was like lucky enough to get into TEDx, so I'm working with them.
I joined something like pretty similar to TEDx actually. It's called the Berkeley Forum. Yeah, it's just really nice because I feel like clubs at Berkeley kind of really encourage like family, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's just nice having people to like talk to.
I did GBO, and I think the best thing that I got out of GBO was my group of friends. Like, that was like the biggest thing that helped me also in the process of transitioning here to the Bay Area, was just like meeting all those people during that week-long experience. That was like literally the best thing I got out of GBO. Aside from that, I did sign up to be a part of the Hall Association here, and I think that too has helped me create community, because now I'm being a part of like different leadership roles, helping to build community with other students to help them feel more inclusive.
As I mentioned before, I met a really awesome community within business school as well as the transfer center here. A lot of like-minded people that are going through the same situation, transferring from community college, and so we got to kind of share our experiences and kind of help each other out that way. I also found a community through a club that I'm in now. It's called BCEC, Business, Careers, and Entertainment. I think a lot of people there, obviously we share the same interests in terms of what we'd like to get into in terms of careers.
Do you feel like there's a stigma surrounding transfer students?
I was waiting for this question. Yes. It's the dumb thing. People think that it's not that they think transfers are dumb. I think they want to think that transfers are dumb because they want to be proud they got in as a freshman. And I think that shows a little immaturity. I think if I had gone here as a freshman, like when I got in, I would have been a lot less mature, and I wouldn't have been doing as well as I am here. Like, people talk about a lot of transfers are older, they have more life experience, a lot of them have had jobs. I didn't have a job before I was a freshman. So I think that a lot of the things that make the stigmas about transfer students are a lot of things that make them so great and that make them thrive at the school. The stigma can be tough sometimes, but be proud of it. Yeah, I am a transfer, and it's okay if you call me dumb, because it doesn't affect me, because I'm mature enough and experienced enough to know that that's not true.
Yeah, everyone's always like, yo, like you went to SB, why are you here? Like SB's so nice, blah blah blah. So that's been kind of annoying. And also just like I don't think Cal is elitist. At least the majority of people aren't. But obviously there are a couple people who are like, oh, you didn't get in here originally, like blah blah blah. And I think it bothered me a little in the beginning. But I mean, we're getting the same degree, so.
Coming here, I definitely felt like there was some sort of prejudice, at least a little bit talking to current students. There is some prejudice, but it's also not as bad as some people would like to believe.
A huge stigma, and I don't want to like knock you from not, choosing Berkeley. I think this institution itself is an amazing institution to go to and come to learn, but there definitely is a distinct separation between transfer students and then the rest of the students on campus. And it's mostly because half of us have already had experiences. Some of us are re-entry students, so a little bit older. Some of us have like families. And so when we're dropped back into a space where we're dealing with people who are just now entering the school space from high school, and this is everything for them, and for us we're like, can I just want to go to class, and do that. And also on top of that, just not having enough resources to make the transfer students feel like this is just as much their campus as it is the freshmen. So I feel like a lot of that comes in with the faculty and even different student-run organizations being inclusive of transfer students, because a lot of them want to have first years because they feel like they'll have a longer time with them. For me, that doesn't feel good, and it's like I worked just as hard to get here and I should be treated as such, and that's going to be a very huge thing you're going to have to deal with when you're navigating how to get adjusted to this campus.
I'd say slightly. I think something, I don't know, maybe it's just my experience. I think sometimes people look at community college as kind of like a lesser school, like people that like, oh, they couldn't get into like a 4-year, or they weren't smart enough or something. And so I think my experience, it was something that might have played a little bit, maybe not explicitly, like someone didn't come up to me like, hey, you're a community college student, or you're a transfer student, like you're not that smart. I think it was more of, I think transfer students kind of stuck together, and so people maybe associated transfer students were separate from continuing students. I think in my experience, like I'm really proud to be a transfer student. It's something that I would encourage everyone to do, go to community college.
Any advice for students who want to transfer?
I'd say if you're at a UC or another 4-year right now and you want to come to Cal, constant communication with Cal is pretty important, at least for me. Whenever I had a question, it's harder for them to answer just because they don't have as much experience with people like us, I guess, but it was still a lot more helpful than just kind of praying, like, oh, I hope I took the right class.
Yeah, I would say if you're planning on transferring, you definitely want to have a plan. It shouldn't be a last minute thing. I called Cal so many times to ask about specific classes and like what I need to take, and there's all these fiascos. I also have a pro tip if you're applying to transfer as a 4-year. I talked to one of the admissions officers when I came here before I transferred, and she said, nobody uses the additional comments section. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Why don't you use it? And I looked at the application, and so that's because the additional comments section says, don't use this unless there's a specific reason. I would say that's just false. If you have like something to write, something more to write it there, because that'll definitely help you. I think it helped me a lot, and that's something like the admissions officer highly recommended.
Be prepared to be challenged and be prepared to grow past where you were prior to coming here.
The people that I know that have been considering transferring to another school, not necessarily Berkeley, and that haven't done it are miserable. Just stuck in a place they don't want to be in anymore. And that's where I was, and I transferred, and now I'm having all these little mini moments of enlightenment and finding my own path in life. You're gonna spend a lot of time alone if you're transferring, and you have to get comfortable with that, but that can force you to confront things that you've never confronted and enjoy time that you've never enjoyed, like just walking with no headphones in.
Keep your grades up. They are important. Obviously hard, but I think if you put your mind to it, you can do it. I think in my experience, I saw Berkeley as a reach school. I said, you know what, I'm gonna apply, I'm gonna shoot my shot. If I don't get in, that's okay. But, obviously it paid off. I think if you're on the edge about applying to Berkeley, I would say do it. You never know. If you don't, send in the application. So yeah, shoot your shot, don't be afraid, and you never know, it could pay off. Can't say enough good things about it. It's hard, but it'll pay off in the end. So yes, go apply.
Yay!